Have you ever sat down to work, opened your laptop, and somehow ended up 3 hours deep in cat videos? Yeah, me too. And here's the thing, it's not your fault. Or at least, that's what we tell ourselves, right? I'm just tired. I'll start tomorrow. I work better under pressure anyway. Sound familiar? But let me ask you something. What if I told you that the real reason you procrastinate has nothing to do with motivation, discipline, or willpower? What if I told you that you could destroy procrastination in exactly 5 seconds? Not 5 minutes, not 5 hours, 5 seconds. And no, this isn't some magic pill or productivity app that costs $49.99 a month. This is a brain hack, a neurological switch, and once you flip it, you can't unflip it. I'm about to show you exactly how it works. But first, let me tell you a story. A few years ago, there was this woman named Mel Robbins. She was 41 years old, unemployed. Her husband's business had just failed. They were drowning in debt. She was drinking too much. She couldn't get out of bed in the morning. Her alarm would go off at 6 a.m., and she would just lie there staring at the ceiling, paralyzed by anxiety and self-loathing, day after day after day. One night she was watching TV, and she saw a rocket launch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and something clicked in her brain. The next morning when her alarm went off, she didn't think. She didn't negotiate with herself. She didn't give her brain time to come up with excuses. She just counted backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she physically launched herself out of bed like a rocket. That was it. That was the moment everything changed. She used that same 5-second rule to stop drinking, to get a job, to build a career, to write a book that became a massive bestseller. And here's the wildest part. She didn't invent some complicated system. She didn't need an accountability partner, or a vision board, or a morning routine with 17 steps. She just hacked her own brain. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to use that same hack to destroy procrastination in your own life. But before we get there, we need to understand something critical. Why do we procrastinate in the first place? Most people think procrastination is about laziness. It's not. Procrastination is about fear. Your brain is a survival machine. It's not designed to make you happy or successful. It's designed to keep you alive. And anything new, anything uncertain, anything that might lead to failure or rejection, your brain perceives as a threat. So what does it do? It hesitates. It stalls. It distracts you with TikTok, with snacks, with reorganizing your desk for the 3rd time this week. Because hesitation is the kiss of death for your dreams. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, write that email, start that project, hit the gym, your brain kills it with hesitation. Within 5 seconds, that instinct is gone, replaced by fear, doubt, and 1,000 reasons why you should do it later. 5 seconds, that's your window. And here's where the hack comes in. It's called the 5-second rule, not the one about dropping food on the floor. This is different. Here's how it works. The moment you feel an impulse to act on a goal, you count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you physically move. You don't think. You don't negotiate. You don't give your brain time to sabotage you. You count and you launch. That's it. Sounds too simple, right? That's what I thought too. But let me break down exactly why this works, because once you understand the science, you'll never procrastinate the same way again. Your brain has 2 modes. There's the prefrontal cortex. That's the rational, planning, goal-setting part of you. The part that says, I should start that business or I should go for a run. And then there's the amygdala, the fear center, the part that says, but what if you fail? What if people laugh? What if it's too hard? What if you're not good enough? When you hesitate, you hand control from your prefrontal cortex to your amygdala. You go from I want to do this to I'm scared to do this in under 5 seconds. The 5-second rule interrupts that handoff. Counting backward does 3 things simultaneously. First, it requires focus. You can't count backward and spiral into anxiety at the same time. It breaks the pattern of overthinking. Second, it creates a sense of urgency. Like a rocket launch, it triggers your brain's go system instead of its stop system. Third, and this is the most important part, it activates your prefrontal cortex before your amygdala can hijack the wheel. You're literally outrunning your own fear. And once you start moving, momentum takes over. Newton was right. An object in motion stays in motion. The hardest part of anything is starting. The 5-second rule forces the start. Let me give you some real examples of how this looks in practice. You wake up and your alarm goes off. Normally you hit snooze 3 times. Then you scroll Instagram for 20 minutes. Then you're rushing, stressed, already behind. Instead, the alarm goes off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet on the floor. You're up. You sit down to work on your side project. Your brain says, maybe check email first, just for a minute. Normally that minute becomes 2 hours. Instead, you feel that instinct to work. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the document. Start typing. Even if it's terrible. Even if you delete it later. You started. You want to go to the gym after work, but you're tired. The couch looks so comfortable. Netflix just dropped a new season. Normally, you negotiate with yourself until it's too late. Instead, you feel that impulse to grab your gym bag. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're out the door before your brain can talk you out of it. Every single time you use this rule, you're building a new neural pathway. You're training your brain that action comes before motivation. Because here's the secret nobody tells you. Motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. You don't feel like working out and then go to the gym. You go to the gym and then you feel like working out. You don't feel inspired to write and then start writing. You start writing and then inspiration shows up. The 5-second rule is how you force action before motivation, before confidence, before you feel ready, because you will never feel ready. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds great for small stuff, but what about the big things? What about the scary things? Starting a business, having a difficult conversation, quitting a job that's killing your soul. Here's the truth. The 5-second rule works even better for the big things. Because the bigger the goal, the louder your amygdala screams. The more important something is to you, the more your brain will try to protect you from the possibility of failure. So you need the rule even more. Mel Robbins used it to save her marriage, to build her speaking career, to get on stages in front of thousands of people when she was terrified. I use it every time I need to have a hard conversation, every time I need to publish something that might get criticized, every time I need to take a risk that my brain is screaming I shouldn't take. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I move. Not because I'm not scared. I'm always scared. But courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is action in the presence of fear. And the 5-second rule is how you act before fear can stop you. Let me hit you with some science real quick. Researchers at the University of Michigan found that when people hesitate, their brain activity shifts from the prefrontal cortex to the amygdala within seconds. They literally watched procrastination happen in real time on brain scans. Another study from Harvard showed that people who act quickly on their goals are significantly more likely to achieve them than people who wait for the right moment. Because the right moment doesn't exist. It's a myth your brain tells you to keep you safe and stuck. And here's something wild. Even the military uses a version of this. Navy SEALs are trained to act in high-stress situations using a similar countdown method. Because in combat, hesitation gets people killed. In your life, hesitation kills dreams, not as dramatically, but just as permanently. Now let me address the skeptics. Some of you are watching this and thinking, this is stupid, counting backward. That's the secret? I get it. I thought the same thing. But let me ask you, what have you got to lose by trying it? You've tried the complicated productivity systems, the Pomodoro technique, the time blocking, the accountability groups, the $300 planner, and you're still here, still procrastinating, still stuck. So try something stupidly simple for once, because the best solutions usually are simple. The problem isn't that you don't know enough. The problem is that you don't act enough. And the 5-second rule fixes that. Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, use the 5-second rule on everything. Small stuff, big stuff, everything in between. Alarm goes off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. Feel like working. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start. Need to make a call you've been avoiding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dial. Every single time. And I promise you, by day 3 you notice something shift. You'll feel more in control, more confident, more capable. By day 7, you'll be a different person. Because here's what happens when you stop hesitating. You stop breaking promises to yourself. And that changes everything. When you do what you say you're going to do, even something as small as getting up when the alarm goes off, you build self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of everything. Confidence, discipline, success. It all starts with trusting yourself. Procrastination destroys that trust, one broken promise at a time. The 5-second rule rebuilds it, one kept promise at a time. Let me leave you with this. There are two types of people in this world. People who wait until they feel ready, and people who act before they feel ready. The first group spends their whole life waiting. The second group builds the life they want. Which one are you going to be? Because the clock is ticking. Your goals are waiting. And you have exactly 5 seconds to decide. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. If this hit different, smash that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment below with the word launch if you're using the 5-second rule today. And hey, don't let this be another video you watch and forget. Your future self is watching this moment. What are you going to do with it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.